Hi there. So today I wanted to talk about being responsible. And I don't mean responsible like I'm a responsible person, but I'm really talking from the standpoint of being overly responsible. That can show up in a variety of ways. Maybe I feel responsible for how others feel. I feel responsible for other people's lives and well beings to the point where it's a detriment to myself and to where I take more responsibility for that person than they take for themselves. And that can be very, very unhealthy, and it can really lead us away from living a life on purpose, living the life that we were meant to live, and it can harm other people as well. I know for me personally, I grew up in a home with a lot of abuse, and there was a lot of things that happened to me that weren't talked about. We didn't really talk about anything. And so I was kind of left to figure that out on my own. And the way I interpreted what was happening in my environment is it must be my fault. I must be responsible for all of these bad things. And then somehow I need to be responsible for fixing it. And so I got very, very tuned into my environment, very tuned into the people around me. And I got tuned into them to the point where I could really read somebody's thoughts, feelings, what would make things okay. And so I grew up feeling this real burden of responsibility for other people, and I took that into my life. And yet at the same time, the other thing that I took into my life is I guess, assumed or thought that this is how we relate to each other. So not only did I feel that I was responsible for others, but at times I felt like they should be responsible for me too, especially when I was in a relationship. And so this, of course, didn't help me at all. But I will tell you, in terms of being or feeling overly responsible for someone, what ends up happening is that it leads to burnout. It leads to frustration. It leads to resentment and bitterness. And it also can really clip the other person's wings, because if I'm taking responsibility for something in their life that I'm not meant to take responsibility for, then how are they going to grow? How are they going to learn? I'm really taking away their growth opportunity. There's a scripture in Galatians in the Bible, and it talks about burdens and loads. And the scripture talks about how we help each other with burdens, but in the same passage, it says, each one must carry their own load. And so it's that idea that, yes, we want to help people with burdens. We want to help them when they are overwhelmed or when they are in a life situation that they really do need help and support. That's great. We should care and we should want to help others. At the same time, I don't want to go in and rescue somebody from carrying their own load. You could think of a burden like a boulder and a load like a knapsack. I'm going to help somebody with the boulder, but I'm not going to take their knapsack. Because if I do, how will they ever learn how to carry it for themselves? So many of us realize that we were created for a very special purpose. And if you're listening to this, I want you to know that there is a purpose that only you can fill. Nobody else can fill that purpose, only you. And if you show up in your life by taking responsibility for other people, then it takes you off purpose. It takes you off plan. So if you do show up this way, either one side or the other or both, I really want to challenge you to look at, why do I do that? And fix it, correct it, set healthy boundaries, take responsibility for you, because this is going to help you in every area of your life.